Olá! Hoje nós temos um convidado muito especial. Eu vou conversar com o Matiu Te Hook. Ele é um músico, um embaixador da cultura maori na Nova Zelândia. Ele é um escritor e um grande amigo. Matiu, thank you so much for being here and contributing to my home country, to the people in Brazil.
Kia ora, Sandra. Kia ora to the people of Brazil. Lovely to be here. Lovely to spend some time with you all.
Matiu, I wanted to actually start by learning a little bit about your journey. So you are a musician, you are a cultural ambassador, you were a kapa haka teacher. You even offer happy hugs in your website that I want to know more in a while. But I just wanted to know, what was your journey? How did you get here?
Okay, so I'm really blessed with my parents. I have a Maori father who didn't know how to be Maori because his father was punished for speaking the language as a child. And it was my non-Maori mother. She's from Irish, Scottish, Italian, and English ancestry. She said, our boys are going to learn how to be Maori. So me and my two older brothers were sent to a Maori boys' college. And that's where I learned the language, that's where I learned the stories, and that's where I learned the songs, and that's where I learned haka. And it really helped strengthen me as a young man, and it gave me a place to stand. It gave me pride in myself and my culture. It gave me the power to speak my voice and to be proud of who I am. And it connected me with all those things that come with the Maori culture. So when I left school, I just had the sense that I would be successful in life and that everything was going to be okay, even though I didn't know what I would do. And when I left school, I had a couple of jobs that did nothing for my soul. I worked in a sawmill, chopping wood over and over and over again. And I worked in a shop selling things. And I was like, no, there's got to be another way to exist. So I looked in my basket of knowledge, and in my basket, I had Maori culture, and I had Maori songs, and I had Maori stories. So I just started ringing schools, and I said, do you have a Maori teacher? Do you have someone to teach haka, someone to teach the power dance, someone to teach our songs? And they're like, nope, because I was living in the South Island, and there's not many Maori down there. And that's where it all began. There was over 25 years ago, and I started teaching. And first of all, I was really grateful that I could make a living off my culture, that my culture was actually providing me with a living and an income. But the main thing was I was living my culture every day, and I was sharing it with people, which was helping keep the culture alive. And from that moment, I was like, I'm never going to do a job that doesn't inspire me for the rest of my life. I'm only going to do things that inspire me, that I'm passionate about, that ignite my own fire. And then as I grew, my skills grew, and that's when I started writing plays, and that's when I started composing my own music and performing, and I got better as a musician. And then I started, somehow I end up facilitating and presenting at conferences and holding workshops. And I just was doing things that I was passionate about, and I just got better and better at them. And that's where I found my place to stand, by doing things that I'm passionate about and doing it lots, so that I gain confidence and I gain skill. And then all of a sudden I'm being invited to do all of those things that I love to do around the country and then around the world, and getting paid for it and being supported and appreciated. And that's how my life has gone since that moment where I was like, there's got to be another way, rather than just being a cog in a machine and working to make other people money. And I just felt like I was part of a factory machine, and I was like, no, there's got to be another way. So that's what's led me to be where I am today.
Wow. You just talked about so important things like your basket of knowledge. So actually, being aware, what do I know? I think that's so powerful. And there are so many Brazilians that we have such a diverse and rich culture in our country. But sometimes we keep looking, to United States, to Europe, and because they have more resources or more technology or more money, we think we are less because of that. But if we would look at our basket of knowledge, We know so many things. We are one of the most creative people in the world. We collaborate like no one else. And
Mm.
we are so social. So I just wanted to thank you for that, Pearl, because I really want to encourage anyone listening here today. Just have a look at our basket of knowledge. Maybe you will find something that really speaks to your heart. And
Mm.
the second thing that I just wanted to highlight is, doing something that you're passionate about. I think we are living in such a complex time that, we don't have time to do something that is not really meaningful for us
Mm.
because it will be hard and tough. And if we don't know why we are doing what we are doing, it will be very hard to keep doing it. So I just wanted to thank you for those two pieces of knowledge and wisdom.
Mm.
And tell us a little bit about where you're putting your energy right now. How are your working days? What do you do?
Yeah. So up until last year, I was traveling a lot. I was traveling overseas. I'd go to Australia 5 times a year. I was traveling around New Zealand, and I was sharing my music and I was sharing my workshops. And then when COVID came along and everything stopped, there was no more, there's a lot less work for me. So now a lot of my energy has been focused on working for myself, as in doing things that are good for myself. My daily practices, developing my skills, developing my craft, developing myself, dealing with childhood wounds, childhood stories that don't support me. So that's been what I'm doing most of my days, is just working on those things, working on the land, building soil, planting things in the garden. So the last year has been a year of working on myself. I still travel with my music a little bit around the country because I need to make some money. I'm doing things online. I'm facilitating haka workshops around the planet via Zoom. So that's helped me.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes I have a whole bunch of people in South Africa in one room and I'm in a big screen and I'm teaching them the haka, or sometimes everyone's at home in their lounge if they're locked down, and I'm teaching them not just haka, but all the values that come with haka. And as you said, yes, and one of my offerings is happy hugs, and I'm just aware that there's nothing sociable about social distancing. We actually need to be close. We need to hold each other. We need comfort. We need physical contact. And a lot of people are not getting hugs. A lot of people are not receiving hugs in our day. So I created a business because I know that it's happening around the world, where people can come and they can have safe, loving, healing touch. And it's very clear, it's very clean. There's a code of conduct. And I've had people come along and just want to hold hands, and that's a new thing for them, to have it be so safe. Or some people want to just to be held and cry for an hour and heal wounds. Some people just want to be held and have some loving, gentle, safe touch. So that's one of my offerings. I also do a lot of one-on-one sessions with people that want to work with me individually. I'm teaching a man in Munich over in Germany how to learn the haka so good that he could teach it. So I'm having regular sessions with him. I help people work through things with my one-on-one sessions. So that's some of the things that I've done to create an
Yeah.
income through my passions and through my skills, by looking in. It's like, oh, people tell me I'm a good hugger. Oh, maybe I could offer hugs to the world. People tell me I'm a good listener. Okay, I'll have sessions where I can book an hour session and they can talk and I can tune into how I might support them.
That's so good. And
Mm.
also, I just wanted to highlight again, your last year was to focus about yourself and how you could be more emotionally balanced, your mental health, I just think this is such an important message nowadays. How we need to actually, build the foundations so we can be in the world, and we that requires, personal development and looking inside, not only outside.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to find time or motivation to do daily practices, but without them, I'm not as stable and strong as I need to be for myself. And how am I going to support my family or my friends if I'm empty or if I'm lacking? Because then I will be
Of
needing
course.
energy from other people. So that's been really important for me to discover. the power of daily practices and how it can support me for the rest of my day, especially if I do them first thing in the morning, even if I have to get up earlier than I would like to sometimes.
And talking about the abilities, the skills that you think are important right now for, a teenager, a young person that is starting their professional life, what do you think are important skills to nurture?
Nurturing skills such as inner discipline is really important. No matter what job you get into, if you got inner discipline, you're gonna do what it takes to get good at it. You're gonna do your job properly. I think communication skills are good because not many of us work by ourselves completely. So communicating, and that also means non-violent communication. So there's technologies out there such as NVC, non-violent communication, that can help us get along with people and not get into conflict or deal with conflict in a peaceful way, so that when you're in a team or a work environment, things can be smooth and peaceful and loving. I think those are some foundational things, and I also really believe in the power of dealing with our childhood wounds and dealing with our past trauma, so we don't carry that into our workplace. We don't carry that into our connection with our boss, who might remind us of our dad who used to boss us around, so we're having conflict with our boss, or the people next door might remind us of that kid that used to bully us at school. And so healing this, I believe, can set us up to go powerfully into any job, and staying healthy and keeping fear out. There's so much fear being fed to us at the moment. So staying in love, staying in a space of love. And I find gratitude really helps lessen the fear in me. Or haka is a tool that I use to release fear, to release anxiety, to release anger, frustration. Haka is a tool that I use daily, every morning, to find my power and to shake all that stuff out so I don't carry it around with me.
E obrigada a você que está nos assistindo. Se você quiser rever essa entrevista ou outra entrevista da série Profissionais do Futuro, acesse Globoplay. E até a próxima entrevista.